Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the good old WTD question mark here on my channel. The segment on this channel where I can give you guys all sorts of heated rants and unleash my rage and hatred about topics that anger me, you know, and today is no exception. I'm going to be talking about something that is near and dear to me, which is animals. You guys know that I love animals, nature in general, you know. I'm all about the preservation and conservation, you know, and I have done quite a few videos talking about that over the years, you know. But today is something that really hits me right here, man. It hits me really in my heart because it really puts into perspective to me how, you know, damaging human beings are to the planet, you know, nature, the environment in general, and certain animal populations, you know, like the one that I'm going to be talking about today. I have already done this video before, but I felt the need to remake it here and give you guys even better information the first time around. I'm going to be talking about the Chinese river dolphin, known locally as the Baiji, you know, which is a very critically endangered and possibly extinct species of freshwater dolphin that actually was, unfortunately, I have to use the preposition was here, you know, native to the Yangtze River in China. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I don't speak Chinese. Yangtze River, that's how I'm going to say, you know. Now, the thing is that this dolphin here, the IUCN, or the International Unit for Conservation of Nature, you know, which was founded in 1948, has actually declared the dolphin to be pretty much functionally extinct, you know, because it hasn't been seen in over 40 years at this point. There have been a few surveys, you know, a few expeditions to the river that have actually led to nothing. There have been a few sightings of one or two dolphins over the years, but at this point, even if there are a few surviving members of the species, it's not enough to reintroduce, you know, for them to reproduce and reintroduce the dolphins into the population, you know, into nature, because if there are any dolphins left, they are very few and they're old, you know. So if the dolphin isn't fully extinct right now, it will be soon, you know, maybe in this generation, maybe in the next one. But the thing is that it's literally scientifically impossible for the few numbers of dolphins out there in the wild to, you know, to repopulate the area, especially because the Yangtze River has been, you know, over polluted and overworked to death, you know. So, and it's really sad because this dolphin, you know, for a long time has been a symbol of peace and prosperity in China, you know, and there are a few names for it, you know. They also call it the Chinese river dolphin, the Han river dolphin, the Yangtze river dolphin, you know, or the whitefin dolphin. But the thing is that there is a local name. It has a nickname in China, which is Goddess of the Yangtze, which comes from ancient folklore about this beautiful young girl who lived with her evil and greedy stepfather on the banks of the river. And one day he took her out to sell her on the market, you know, but while he was on the boat, he became infatuated with her beauty and tried to take advantage of her. And she escaped by, you know, by jumping off of the boat into the water. And then suddenly a storm came in and blew the boat over, you know, killing the stepfather. But, you know, later on, people saw this beautiful white dolphin swimming around in the area, which they believed was the reincarnation of that girl. And so she became the goddess of the river, you know. She became like this kind of like a protector of sorts, you know. Local fishermen and boatmen do consider the body to be kind of like the goddess of protection, you know. So it's really sad that we drove this thing to extinction, you know, because it is thought that the Baiji is the very first dolphin species that has been driven to extinction due to the impact of humans, you know, because we essentially killed this thing, you know. I mean, it's complicated, man. You know, 12% of the world's population, you know, lives and works on that river, so it puts a lot of strain and pressure on the waters, you know. So essentially, the Baiji started to slowly die out, you know, and it's really sad because this is, or was, a very beautiful dolphin, you know. I'm gonna show you guys some photos here if I can find some good resolution ones, you know. Let's take a look at, I usually insert 4, right? So yeah, maybe like if I can find enough, 3 or 4 photos of the what is believed to have been the Baiji before the extinction. gotta admit, man, this thing looked beautiful. It was truly incredible to witness, you know, because imagine you're sitting there on the Yangtze River, the water's murky, then you see this white figure swimming under the water, you know. It almost does look like some kind of divine entity, you know, almost like a spirit protecting the area. It was amazing, you know. And they were thought to have bred in the first half of the year with a 30% pregnancy rate, you know, and the males actually peaked at around 7 feet and 7 inches long, while the females were a little bigger, you know, peaking at around 8 feet and 2 inches long. The longest species ever found was 8 feet and 10 inches long, and it was probably a female because they do get bigger than the males, you know. And their average life expectancy was expected to be around, the lifespan was estimated to be around 24 years, you know, which is really long for a dolphin, you know, especially one that lives in the environment that it does, you know. Now, as for the color palette, you know, it was largely either, you know, blue gray to actually gray, you know, on the top, you know, the dorsal side, and on the underside, you know, the belly, it was mostly just white, just like a regular oceanic dolphin, you know. Not really sure they use it for camouflage, but still, they had their in their mouths, they had anywhere from 31 to 36 conical teeth, you know, that they would use to locate prey. Now, these things were actually really impressive because when it had this this triangular and kind of short dorsal fin, you know, so whenever it was swimming through the water just under the surface, it kind of looked like a little white flag, you know. It was really nice, and they were surprisingly fast, you know, given their environment. They could reach speeds of upwards of 37 miles per hour when trying to escape predators, you know, but they usually try to stay at a speed of like around 19 to 25 miles per hour, you know, so it was still pretty fast for a river dolphin. And given their murky environment, you know, they actually had smaller eyes compared to oceanic dolphins. They relied more on solar, you know, echolocation for the activity, whether it's hunting, avoiding predators, group coordination, emotions, no communication in general. And their echolocation clicks were actually estimated to be in the range between 70 and 100 kilohertz, you know, so it's pretty crazy, you know. The dolphin actually had a very it really did have a very interesting way of communicating because what's the scientific name, like the echolocation, the little gland was more focused on the skull, you know, on the melon, and it was actually, it's pretty similar to how regular dolphins communicate as well. And it was actually estimated that when they were still thriving, they kind of they were largely distributed around, you know, 1,100 miles, you know, in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, while also reaching out towards other parts, you know. So like, for example, the Dongting and the Punying lakes, you know, they were tributary lakes. So basically it was widely distributed in this area here specifically, you know, and there were a lot of fish for them to hunt and eat, so they were thriving, you know. There were quite a few dolphins, man, you know. In their heyday, this dolphin was very largely spread throughout this region here, you know. And it's crazy, and they weren't aggressive towards humans as far as I know, so they were essentially harmless, you know. I probably wouldn't go swimming with one, you know, if I saw it, you know. And it's actually sad because the last surviving the last surviving Baiji, who was named Kiki or Kwikwi, you know, actually died in 2002. That was the last confirmed surviving river dolphin, you know, in China, and unfortunately there is a good chance that they don't exist anymore in the wild, you know. They have been completely obliterated because population was complicated, man, you know. There were, I'm going to be talking about that later, but essentially they started to drastically decline more and more, you know. There was this expedition in late 2006, you know, that came up short. No results, no dolphins were found, you know, but it was really sad how that came to be. I'm going to show you guys possibly a video here if I can find one of the Baiji. Now, bear in mind, this animal did weigh anywhere from 298 to 507 pounds, you know. It was pretty damn big and heavy, so it's not like fishermen were catching this thing to eat it, you know. They weren't grilling it back home, you know. It started to slowly die out because of the river being constantly polluted and overworked, you know, industrialization and people, you know, habitating it, you know. It started to become really complex, you know, kind of putting the dolphin in a bottleneck situation, you know. And it's really sad, man, because in the 1950s there were about 6 6,000 of these things still out there in the wild, you know. Over the next few decades, it started to decline more and more. There were only a few hundred of them left by the 1970s, and they were estimated to be around 400 exactly or so, you know, in the 1980s, and then it actually dropped even more drastically to 13 in 1997, you know, which is really, really sad, man. That, dude, there was a full-fledged search conducted and it only found 13 freaking river dolphins, man. There were 400, you know. And there was one sighting. The last actual confirmed sighting was in 2004, and in 2007 there was a Chinese man who videotaped a white shape, you know, swimming through the Yangtze River, you know. But that was back in 2007, man, and since then there hasn't been a single sighting, you know. And as I said before, the presence of just, you know, a few of these animals, you know, especially in advanced age, is not enough to save the species from true extinction. So as sad as it is to say, man, if the dolphin is not extinct now, it will be. It's only a matter of time at this point, you know. We have forced this thing to extinction, you know. And hey, maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe people just started to naturally work more there on the river, you know. Maybe it wasn't something that we wanted to do, but it still happened because of us. It's our fault, you know. And we're gonna have to deal with this generation, the next generation, you know, knowing that we're only ever gonna see this dolphin on Google Images and videos on YouTube, you know. Maybe they can find a species and permanently preserve it in a museum or something, but it's very unlikely, you know. I'm actually really envious of people who have seen this dolphin up close, you know. It's really, really complicated, man. I would have liked to see this dolphin in a zoo or something, or even in its natural habitat, but that's literally impossible now. I think I'm actually gonna end the video here, guys, because there's not much else that I can say, you know. I did have a little cheat sheet here, you know, but there's just way too much stuff that's going to be a little bit more complicated, you know. And that's pretty much it. And also my battery's running low. I've been trying to get this video done for at least an hour now. A lot of cuts here and there, things that went wrong, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the way it came out. You know, I really enjoyed going back to this topic again, but now I have to get going so I can actually get through it, you know. Let me know in the comments below if you're just as outraged as I am at the extinction of this beautiful thing. And if you guys happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload. And it's all good for me, not for the dolphin. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen before that goes extinct too.